Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Vault Podcast where music still matters. We got an awesome guest with us once again today. I stumbled onto her on Twitter after seeing some of her recipes that were inspired by metal bands. You can find her stuff at metalcakes.blogspot.com, and you can follow her on Twitter at metalcakes. Kathy Bejma, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing good. So just tell some people a little bit about what kind of got you inspired to start making cupcakes that are all metal inspired.
Well, basically, I just kind of created the type of blog I wished was out there. There were a lot of like cupcake blogs for a while, and I kind of always was baking, and I like cupcakes because they're portable, they're easily distributed, and they're fun to make, and there's lots of different combinations of flavors and fillings and frostings, and it's just like infinite combinations. So, and then I've kind of always been a metalhead since probably like the first time I saw High and Fire, which was like 2000. And so I just kind of made the blog I wish was out there. There were a couple of blogs that were there was one that used like black metal adjectives to describe baked goods, and there are other, just regular cupcake blogs. So I kind of made a blog I wish was out there, one that, talks about music I liked and focus on cupcakes.
One of the coolest pictures I saw of you was you were holding the spatula with the red end. Is it a Frost from Satyricon? It's kind of it's kind of a famous picture of him holding the inverted cross. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, I just totally got it. I was like, oh man, this is totally awesome. So I started checking out some of your recipes, and I mean, I got a whole list of stuff. Skeleton Witch, Beyond Permafrosting, Black Sabbath, Cupcakes, Bloody Cupcakes, Venom, Raisin, the Dead Cakes. I mean, Saint Vitus, White Batter, Black Batter. I could keep going on and on and on. There's so many awesome bands that I'm a fan of that you've made recipes of. So let's just get back to some general questions. What have you been listening to lately?
Well, actually, I'm really into Castrator lately. They have just an EP of 2 songs on like Bandcamp, but it's solid, filthy death metal, and I love it. It's so good. Like, I've really been listening to that a lot lately. And then, let's see, Zerkita played here a couple weeks ago, and then they brought like their CD that had some extra bonus tracks on it, so I bought it. So then I've been super into Zerkita again lately because of that, and it's such a great show, and they're so awesome. And I don't know, I actually have been listening to Gloss a lot lately. They're not metal, they're a punk rock band, girls living outside of society shit. But they're like the good punk rock that I remember from high school, like angry and like knocking things over. So that's basically what I've been listening to lately. Is basically that.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be metal. We're fans of all different kinds of genres on this show. So, can you give a quick history about like just how music has impacted you through life, just as far back as you can remember?
Well, I mean, it's basically like music has always been my favorite escape. Like, I do have a film degree, and I do love film, especially horror films and things. But it's just kind of like music is just always there for me. Like, even shitty day, whatever. There's always a record I love that I can put on that will cheer me up. And it's just kind of like, it's just something that I've always been a fan of. I don't really play any instruments, so that kind of makes me even more of a fan. Like, I'm even more in awe of the people who make the music I love, because I could never do that. So it's just kind of, it's my favorite escape, and it always has been. So since as far back as I can remember, basically.
Yeah, you might not be able to play the instruments, but I'm sure a lot of those bands can't make the cupcakes either, and that's just that's another art form. We talked to Greg Vance, the drummer from In Full Darkness, a couple episodes back, and he loves to cook also. It's another way to express yourself and do something that a lot of people can't do, which also even turned me more onto your website, because you go the extra length to decorate these cakes and have the theme of them correct, and then put the little flag in there with the band logo on it. It's just amazing. Going back to your early music, do you remember the very first piece of music you ever owned or purchased?
Well, I was trying to think about this, and I remember being about 5 years old and having one of those like play school plastic record players that was like bright yellow, and I had 2 7-inches. I had one that was the Spider-Man cartoon theme song that I loved, and then the other one I had was the single for Van Halen's Jump.
That's such an awesome combination.
I would listen to both of them and jump around to both. Like, I don't know. I was a little too young for Hot for Teacher, so Jump is like an acceptable song for a 5-year-old, I think.
And it's an excellent combination with Spider-Man too, because he's jumping all over the places.
Totally doing the things a spider can. Yeah, so that was probably like the first, and then I remember when I got the cassette for Weird Al Yankovic, Even Worse, like with the Bad song. Oh, I love that. And then I did Vanilla Ice to the Extreme in Here for Christmas.
Yeah, that To the Extreme was my first tape I ever owned, so I'm with you there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like I told you, we're all over the place with our music taste. Do you remember what your first concert was?
My first concert was New Kids on the Block when I was 8 years old. And I loved Jordan was my favorite. And then it was this show right after they did a show. I don't even remember where it was because this was in Detroit. So it might have been Chicago or it might have been Minneapolis, someplace in the Midwest. And the show before our show, Donnie like fell through the stage and he was like in the hospital. So they kept like dedicating every song to like Donnie who was in the hospital. And I was like, I don't even care about him. Like what? I kind of wish I was at the show where he fell through the stage, but oh well.
I'm a little jealous. I was a huge New Kids on the Block fan back in the day, but I never got to see him when I was probably about I don't know, 6 or 7, so probably around the same age as when you went and saw him, but I never got to.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so yeah, you didn't really know much. I think like my first like real like rock show concert, I was 15 and I went to see I grew up close to Detroit, like just north of Detroit, and I went to St. Andrews Hall in Detroit, and it was a hardcore show, New York hardcore. It was Sick of It All, Down by Law, Orange 9mm, and Civ. And like Civ is like it was like their first show outside of New York, and it's like mostly the guys from Gorilla Biscuit. So like they played first, and I remember everybody was just kind of standing there until they played a Gorilla Biscuit song, and everyone was like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
Like everybody went nuts.
That's a pretty true New York hardcore show with that bill right there.
It was quite a lineup, but it was good, and it was like the first time I went to like a real rock and roll show, and then like and I remember they were playing like Sabbath through the speakers while we were waiting for them to set up, and I was like, this is really great. I was like, I'm gonna have to go to more of these. Good times.
So what is your favorite and least favorite genres of music?
Well, I have to say that metal is my favorite because it's the one I'm most passionate about. It's the one that makes me want to bake. And I don't know. I can't really say like a genre is my least favorite. Maybe like pop country or something, or even like indie rock. I get annoyed with because I feel like it sounds the same, and I can't identify with the things that they're singing about and stuff. But I don't know. It's definitely. But I like old country though, like Hank Williams, of course, and like Merle Haggard and Patsy Cline and all those good stuff. Like all the songs about pain and spring. I get it. That's what I can identify with.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that. Like every single person we've had on the show, including ourselves, everybody's a fan of some sort of old country music, but everybody hates the new pop bro country stuff. It just sucks.
I don't get it at all. It's just like I just can't identify with it. I just like have like no interest in learning anything else about it. So
yeah,
but old country, man, you can't go wrong with that. There's so much good stuff there. Like so good.
So that being said, what's your thoughts on the current state of music? And this is always a broad question to ask everybody because you can go any direction with it. But just modern music, whether it's popular, whether it's maybe metal, just anything you want to say. What do you think?
Well, I have to say that I'm not a fan of the latest cassette craze. Like, I'm sorry, but cassettes sound terrible and they're horrible, and I can't believe they're coming back.
Really, I love cassettes.
You do? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's actually kind of cool. You're the first person that has not liked them coming back. So yeah, just keep going. I think it's interesting.
Well, I just kind of I don't think that they sound very good, and I don't think that there's enough room for like decent artwork in there. And like I get that it's like a cheap way to put your music out there if you're like in a band that's just starting out or whatever. I get it, and I know that the cassettes are super popular with like black metal bands, and like there's always like black metal cassette collections. But I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go analog, go vinyl. That's just my like opinion, man. But I mean, other than that, it doesn't like. I know that metal is like more popular than it has been since probably, well, maybe not the first time around, but it's pretty popular. And I was actually, Electric Wizard played here like a couple weeks ago, and I was maybe I'm just naive, but I was really surprised at like the number of hipsters in attendance at that Electric Wizard show.
Oh yeah, all the Doom stuff is, even though a lot of us have been fans of it for years, like it's just now catching up with a bunch of hipsters.
Yeah, I was just naive. I had no idea. And there was seriously like this like group of hipsters standing behind me, like, and I'm waiting for them to come on. And one of them was like, yeah, I was a Satanist for like a year. And I'm like, oh God, shut up.
Oh my.
He was like, well, Satanism is basically just atheism. And I'm like, no, it's not. Do your research.
And first off, who cares about any of that? I'm there to see the band rule, I mean.
Oh, exactly. Oh, it was awful. Like
I don't care if they're up there, like dressed as nuns or dressed as clowns or dressed in business suits. The music rules, that I'm there,
Yeah, right. I know. So I don't know. So that was a little surprising, and I guess that's just like me being naive. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, not big on cassettes. It surprises the number of hipsters that are into Electric Wizard. But other than that, I mean, I don't think it's. I think even like however big any genre gets, like even metal, there will always be an underground. So it doesn't matter. So people that are getting like, angry that like Rihanna is wearing a Judas Priest shirt, like who cares? There will always be an underground. There will always be like new art that comes out that's good, that like the surface level fans won't ever find out about. Like, and that goes for any genre really. So it doesn't bother me if metal gets huge.
Are there any really popular artists, like not necessarily pop music, but just any mainstream artists that you're really into?
Gosh, I mean, other than like the big like metal ones like Judas Priest and like
no, just any genre. It doesn't matter. Just anything that's like maybe played on the radio or anything that's really popular right now.
Every once in a while there'll be like a pop song that I'll like. Like I remember when Iggy Azalea first came out, I was like, oh, I like this song, but now I hate her. She annoys me. Like every once in a while, look, I'll catch some pop song that's like catchy, and I'll be like, oh, this is fun. But then it fades pretty quickly because it's not really substantial. But I don't know. I think that's probably about it. I don't listen to the radio very often. I listen to like NPR in the morning when I'm getting ready, and then the rest of the day I listen to like my iPod at work. So I don't really listen to the radio very often.
Yeah, that's a good way to transition into the next question. What's your thoughts on digital versus physical copies of music?
Well, I must admit that I am addicted to the convenience of MP3s and the fact that you don't have to worry about like scratching them or like, you know what I mean? Like it's low maintenance, and I like vinyl. Like I like the way it sounds, but people have gone a little vinyl crazy. Like I admit that I did buy Dope Smoker on vinyl, and then I'm like, wait, this is a 45-minute song. Like I'm having to flip this record over and put on a whole other record, and the song is still going. I'm like, this isn't the way this song is supposed to be heard. It's one song, so I don't know. So I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have bought that on vinyl, but oh well, I already did. And so I do like the physical copies, like I do love the artwork on vinyl, and like I mean the in the little like trifolds and things like that. I'm not just a big fan of like picture discs. Like they're all right, but they don't sound as good. But yeah, I don't know. So I kind of, it's like I'm addicted to the convenience of MP3s, but I also miss like all the artwork, like the beautiful artwork, and like having like the physical like capability and connection with your music. So I like both. They both have their pluses and minuses.
Do you think one is going to overtake the other in the next 10 years?
Well, probably not, because I feel like I said, I'll never get away from the convenience of MP3s, and that will just continue. And that people like to walk around with their iPods and not walk around like carrying a record player. But like, so I can see that. But at the same time, I can't imagine vinyl completely disappearing again like it did for a little while. Like I feel like now that it's back, it's gonna stay.
Yeah, and at this rate, with the cassettes coming back, we might have 8-track tapes making a big comeback here in a few years.
Oh no! Well, I can't wait till CDs come back because, man, I'm ahead of the curve on that. I got a ton of those.
Oh, me too. I still buy them. You can go on eBay and pick up really good CDs for like $3. I mean, it's great, really.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. When those are hip again, whew, I'm gonna be the most popular lady in town.
All right. So, what would you say are the five most influential musicians, bands, singer-songwriters, anything that goes? What are your top five that have influenced your life and your baking and everything?
Oh man. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, like the big ones, like Black Sabbath and Motorhead, and Judas Priest and Slayer, and how many is that? Was that four?
Oh, we'll just put
I don't
all
like.
those. We could just put all those into one as just classic awesome if you wanted to.
Okay, yeah, definitely that, and definitely like there was kind of like there's I don't even know. I mean, it's doom, but there are so many different types of doom. Like bands like Bacillus and Graves of Sea and Dark Castle, like those. Like I really really love bands that are like that. That are kind of. I mean, I don't know what type of doom you would really categorize them under, but you know how they all kind of have that same kind of vibe. Like that I'm super into that, and like I don't know. I like a lot of like filthy, dirty death metal, where it's like where you're just like creeped out listening to it, like Autopsy and and Cannibal Corpse and Death, of course, and like I don't know all those classic good ones like that. That's something to look forward to every day for me. And, like I don't know, and then of course High on Fire, because High on Fire is kind of like the reason why I got into metal. Like I was kind of like I was like punk rock kid in high school, and I had like a slight like indie rock phase for a little while there that we won't discuss because it's but I was like punk rock kid in high school, and then that kind of was like I kind of got into like more like Clash and Rocksteady, and there was a Britpop phase too. But then when I moved to Chicago in like '99, so it was probably like 99 or 2000. I was working at Whole Foods, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, we're gonna go see this band High Fire after work." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know them." And he's like, "Oh, it's that guy from Sleep." And the only reason why I knew Sleep is because a friend of mine had a Sleep shirt that he wore all the time, like the Holy Mountain album cover. So I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "Oh, that band." I was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "All right, yeah, why not? Let's go." And it was at Fireside Bowl, which is like I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago, but it's remodeled now. It's nicer, but at the time, Fireside is basically like a bowling alley, and they would literally like rope off the lanes and then set up this tiny stage, and like crusty punk bands would play, and like dirty, filthy metal bands would play, and like I don't know, it was really filthy. The place, like, don't ever use the bathroom there. Oh, it's so bad. But anyway, and like the sound is terrible too. But I went, so I went with my friends, and like High on Fire played, and the second they started playing, I was like, oh my god! Like they're so heavy. I was like, where have you been all my life? And I just like it was like I woke up, and that was it. So it's just like from that point on, it's just like couldn't get enough of the heavy stuff. So and it was great. I mean, and Matt Bike had dreads back then. So it was pretty interesting, and I don't know, it was interesting to see them in such a crappy small venue, knowing where they ended up now and how they're like hugely famous. And all this stuff. Good times.
Yeah, one other thing I want to touch on too that I noticed on a lot of your recipes and from the stuff you're talking about, and I'll just get your thoughts on it. Like I've noticed a lot of the bands that you will listen to, and there's some other people that listen to, like unless it's a classic band, they don't seem like your run of the mill popular band. Like even a band like Death, like your average person might not know them, but your seasoned metalhead will know them. But some of these other bands you've listed, even like an Autopsy or something, a lot of people won't know who those are. So is there something that maybe gravitates you more to these bands that maybe people don't know so much about, or is that just kind of a coincidence?
I don't know. It's just kind of what I like, and I kind of like prefer stuff that doesn't sound like it was made with a lot of money, because I feel like it's more like passionate and true. That's true with a V. But you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like that's why it's like I don't like Metallica's Black Album, because it sounds like there's way too much money behind it, and it's way too like produced and manufactured, and like the passion is gone. Like you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of so more of like bands that are more like that are more kind of like gritty and like I don't know. You definitely wrote this record in your mom's basement, like that's just like I don't know, it means more. It just seems like it's I don't know, I like it better.
They probably wrote it and recorded it in the basement with like a tape player, and that's what made it.
Yes, totally, and that's awesome. That's what I love.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the. If I'm gonna listen to that stuff, like the really old like crust punk and black metal stuff. Like if you're gonna have that lo-fi dirty recording, those are the two genres to do it in, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, so good.
So, is anything you got anything on the horizon with Metal Cakes? Any cool projects coming down the road?
Well, I'm kind of like I'm taking a little bit of a break from mellow cakes. I've gotten a little bit burnt out on blogging, but I always have like, I mean, I still have like a huge list of like, bands and names of recipes that I just have to kind of like work, like, work on these recipes and develop them. And so I'm always kind of working on it. I don't know. I do. Inner Arma is playing here in about 3 weeks, and they were the last recipe, so I'm definitely gonna like bring them a batch of their metal cakes and stuff. And Trey, like I spoke, like I kind of talked to Trey the last time they played here, and he's a vegan, so I have to make him like the vegan version, and then the rest of the band gets the regular version. So, right? So yeah, but that's all right. I don't mind. It's fine. I love Trey. I know. So I do. I mean, I usually do try if there's a band that I have a recipe for and they play Chicago, I usually do try to bring them like a batch of their metal cakes because, I mean, I can't imagine that they get that many, baked goods handed to them while they're on tour and, living in a van, eating
Yes,
food,
especially ones that would be themed after them.
Yeah, exactly. That they inspired. They absolutely should get a free batch if they inspired them. So, like, I always bake for like Skeleton Witch. I always bake for Skeleton Witch when they play here, and Black Tusk and Black Cobra, which they were actually the first band I ever baked for was Black Cobra. And like, thank God Rafa was so nice to me because if he had been like, cupcakes, what the fuck, then I would have like cried and like hung up my spatula and never baked again. So, but he was really really nice about it. So I always bring them their milk cakes and I don't know, and stuff like I baked for St. Vitus one time, which was actually pretty cool because like they're just a bunch of old bikers. So like when a bunch of old bikers gets really excited about a batch of cupcakes, like that's pretty rad. So that was nice. And like I don't know, so I do try to do that, and like so it's something. It's because it's basically like Mellow Cakes is just like created because it's like out of a love of the band. So it's like something, a way to give back other than like buying their music is like something nice. And like, I don't know, it's always nice to bake for someone that you love. So that's it.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to plug? I already gave out your Twitter. We can give it again at Metal Cakes. Pretty simple. Go give her a follow. Anything else you want to give shout outs for?
No, I don't know. Just anybody that's a metal fan, go to as many metal shows as you can, buy as much merch as you can carry, and support the scene. That's it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really cool to see how music's inspired you to bake. I mean, music can inspire everybody to do amazing things in different types of fields. So that's really cool. Thanks again for coming on. I hope you had fun.
Yes, I did. Awesome. Thank you so much for asking me, and thank you so much for plugging my blog.
Yep, no problem. And we'll get that. We'll get that right now. Metalcakes.blogspot.com, and again at Metalcakes on Twitter. So thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you guys later.